share them yesterday. So I'm just going to call you guys in order, and then whoever brought pictures, if you could just pass them around, we'll pass them around while we're reading the stories, okay? You brought pictures? Okay, so first I have Alyssa. Come up and read your story for us. Can I pass around your pictures for you? Okay. All right, guys, be nice listeners.
One time, with my family, I went to Orlando, Florida. We went to Disney World. We saw Cinderella's castle, Mater and Lightning McQueen's garage, and Disney characters made out of flowers. My family went on fun, cool, and awesome rides. When we went in March, it was freezing at home, but it was hot in Florida. To conclude, I can't wait to go back.
Very nice. Does she have a balanced paragraph?
Yes.
Very good, Alyssa. So we're starting our unit on regions. So can you show us, Alyssa, on the map where Florida's at? Do you know where it's at? Right there. Okay, so Alyssa went to Florida. All right, very nice. Okay, next we have Jay. You want to come up and bring pictures? No pictures? Okay.
My family took a trip to Indian Mountain, Tennessee. On the ride, we saw a lot of flatlands. We celebrated Thanksgiving and went to Nashville. The weather was mild. People talk differently and are way more laid back. We also celebrated my birthday and spent time with family. I got to meet a boy named Jevin, and his nickname was Chubby. Tucumcari, Tennessee is a awesome place to be.
Very cool. Very nice. Can you show us where Tennessee's at? So kind of close to where we're at. We're here. Here's Tennessee. You guys see that? Okay, very nice. See how detailed she was, you guys? Lots of details. Can you show us where Louisiana's on the map? Down here. Okay, so we have 3 Floridas, a Georgia, Louisiana. What's down here that we don't have up here? Can anyone tell me? Austin?
Texas?
Well, what's down here that you can see that we don't have up in Illinois?
Yeah, we don't have up in Illinois. South Dakota, North Dakota.
What do you think, Christian?
Ocean.
An ocean. See, so if you're down in these states, you can see the ocean. We can't see the ocean up here, can we?
No.
Very nice, Tia. Back up here, nice and loud, Gage.
My family and I took a trip to Boulder, Colorado. I saw a lot of mountains. I went swimming. I was hot and there was no rain. It was different because there were different animals and more mountains. To conclude, it was a great time. I hope I can go again soon.
Very nice. So what did Gage say was different? What did he mention that nobody else did? Ashley?
There were like different animals.
That. What else? What else did he say, Austin?
Oh, there were a lot of mountains.
Mountains. Do we have mountains in Illinois?
No.
See, way over here. Okay, so there's a lot of mountains in Colorado. All right, so you know yesterday we read our letters. We talked a little bit about this map. We located some states. So we're going to go a little bit further and talk about regions, okay? Can anybody tell me what the word region means? Have you heard of it before? It's okay if you haven't. No, nobody? Okay, so that's what we're going to talk about today. Okay, so we're going to look at a couple different maps, okay? So this map of the United States is broken up by landforms. Okay, so landforms are things such as mountains, system that can be broken into 5 major parts or regions. So that's what the word region means, okay? So it's a system, and our country is broken into 5 different parts, okay? So we're gonna scroll down here. Okay, so what is a region? Places that have similar characteristics that make them different from surrounding areas. So you remember that first map? Think back to that first map when we saw mountains, we saw the Great Plains, we saw some more mountains, okay? So our country is broken up into regions because each section is different, okay? Okay, so what are some things that might define a region? What do we think? What might make one part of the country so special and different than the other part? Does anybody have a guess? What do you think, Zoria? Okay, anybody else? Jay?
The Rocky Mountains and
Fair.
the
Appalachian Mountains. Very good. Those are some things. So if you have one area that has a lot of mountains and it's all in the same area and it has similar weather, that can define one region. Okay? So the area that has the Appalachian Mountains, that can be one region. An area that has the Great Plains, that can be another region. Does that make sense? You guys all get that? Understand? Good. Okay, so here's another map. I know a lot of maps, but I just want you guys to get the idea here, okay? So this map, it says, I know it's kind of hard to see, but right here it says the Rocky Mountains, okay?
Yeah.
Over here, Appalachian Mountains. Can you see that? The Great Plains would be in this area. The deserts would be down here, okay? Okay, so now here's another map, but there's nothing labeled. You see how they're all broken up? You see these dark lines? Those are the different regions, okay? So this would be considered the western part of the United States. This would be considered the southwestern part. And where we live, does anybody know what it's called where we live? Denaya? Good guess. Dakota?
Midwest?
The Midwest. So we live in the Midwest because it's in the middle of the country and it's kind of over west, okay? And then, can anybody guess what this is called, Milton?
Southeastern.
Southeastern, very good. And then there's one more region up here. It's a little section. What do we think, Penny?
Northern. Northeast.
Northeast. Okay, very good. Nice guesses, you guys. Okay, so another really good map. Okay, so this has a little bit more pictures on it. So we got some mountains. We got the deserts down here. What do you think these hay bales stand for?
Fields.
Fields, right? What did we say those were called? Tia? The Great Plains, right? Okay, and then those of you that went to Florida, why do you think that there's a bunch of pretty plants and sunny down here? Christian?
Because the sun, because it has good weather.
It has good weather, right? And it's down by what? By, what's that called? The ocean, right? Okay, so this would be a separate area because it's so warm and it's got nice weather. And it's much different than up in the mountains, right? Okay. Dory, you have something to say?
On the other map, I don't see Canada.
That's because we're just talking about the United States right now, okay? Alright, so we're going to go a little bit more in depth. So, first, the Northeast region. Okay, that's also called New England because it was the original 13 colonies. So when our country was first formed, these were the first colonies that were formed. None of this well, it was there, it just wasn't discovered yet. Okay? So that's called the New England colonies, okay? Alright, Midwest. We should know a little bit about the Midwest because we live here, right?
Yeah.
It has the Great Lakes. Can anybody name one of the lakes? Ashley?
The Atlantic Ocean.
We're talking about the Great Lakes. What big lake do we live by?
Lake Michigan.
Lake Michigan, right? Does anybody know any other names? Jay?
Lake Superior.
Lake Superior. Dakota?
Lake Otter?
Lake what?
Otter?
Is it on Lake Ontario?
Yeah.
Yeah, Lake Ontario. Nice guess. Vinny?
Like Erie?
Lake Erie. And then there's one more I think we're missing. Did anybody say Lake Huron? Okay. Okay, so those are all right up here. So that's in the Midwest, okay? And what is our weather like here? Does it change? Does it stay the same?
No.
It
Changes.
changes all the time, right? What's it like in the winter?
Cold.
Cold and
Snowy.
snowy, right? What about in the summer?
Hot.
Very hot, right? And then we have 2 more seasons. What are those?
Fall.
Fall and
Spring.
spring. Very good. Very good. So that's the Midwest. We have a lot of different seasons, okay? Okay, now we have the Southeast. This is where we all like to go on vacation, right? Because there's a lot of beaches, it's nice and sunny, it's warm down here in Florida. Has anybody been to the Gulf of Mexico?
Yeah, no, but I've been in Mexico.
You've been to Mexico? Has anybody been to the Gulf of Mexico? Denaya, you have? Yeah? Yeah. There's a lot of beaches down here, okay? It's warmer down there all year round. Are there mountains down there?
No.
Way down here there's no mountains, right?
No.
There might be some over in this area, but not way down there, okay? So do you guys kind of get why they're broken up into different sections?
Yes.
Okay, Vinny?
If you put all the Great Lakes together, it makes home.
Really?
Homes.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so next one, Southwest. What is down here? Does anybody know what's down here that sets this apart from the rest of our country? Jay?
Like, there's a lot of desert.
Yes, this is the desert area. Okay, so down here we have New Mexico, we have Arizona, we have Nevada. Those are all areas that are full of desert. So what kind of things live in the, in Texas, sorry, I forgot the biggest one. What lives in the desert? Christian?
Like tarantulas.
I don't know, maybe tarantulas. What kind of plant? Alyssa?
Cactus.
Cactuses, right? So the desert is different because it's got different plants, it's got different animals. Do we have cactuses here?
No.
No, right? They probably wouldn't do so well with all this snow on the ground, would they?
Well, they don't grow naturally.
No, you can plant them, but they don't grow on their own, okay? All right, so that's the Southwest. So this is the desert area. So we have New England, we have the Southeast with all the pretty beaches, we have the Midwest with the snow and the lakes, the Southwest with the desert. We got one more, right? Let's scroll down. The West region. What's over here? Victoria? What do you think? Austin, what do you think?
Ocean.
There's oceans, right? So all along the coast. What state is this all along the coast right here? This big state. California, right? California has some pretty, does all of California have nice weather?
No. It has
It has mountains. There's mountains over up in here. We have Colorado over here. Colorado full of mountains. Remember when Gage read a story yesterday? He said he saw mountains in Colorado. Okay. Up here we have Oregon. Angie, don't you have the state of Oregon? Right? Have you read anything about it yet? Okay, they've got some mountains up there too. In Washington. Who is Washington? You have Washington. So they've got some mountains up there. So this is the western region. We have some beaches and the ocean down here and mountains over here. Okay. Jay?
Why is Alaska and Hawaii the same color as Western?
Alaska and Hawaii are also part of the western region because they're, so that's a good question. Alaska's up here, right? Okay, so because Alaska's not way over here, or way down here, then they put it in with the west region. And then Hawaii's kind of down here, way over in the middle of the ocean. So it kind of makes sense to just put it with the western part, right? Right? Or would it make sense to put Hawaii part of the Midwest? No, because the Midwest doesn't have any oceans by it, right? Okay, so now you have a question?
I read a book. It was about owls, and it lives in the sun. You live in a desert and some call it the owl.
Owls. Okay, so that's another animal that lives in this area that probably doesn't live by us, okay? Alright, very good, you guys. We have one more. Okay. So, again, can you guys read this with me together?
The United States is a system that can be broken into 5 major parts or
Regions, right. So that's what a region is, okay? So we have the Northeast, the Midwest, the Southeast, the Southwest, and the West. You think you guys can remember all that? Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to break up into 4 small groups, and you guys are going to get a packet that asks some questions about these, and I want you guys to use the maps to answer the questions, okay? So you guys got to work nicely in your groups, and there's just, this one only breaks it up into 4 sections, and that's because it combines the Southwest and the West all onto one page, okay? Okay, so when I call your group, I'm going to have you come up and get a packet, and I have Christian, Emily, Caleb, and Austin get a packet. Yeah. Okay, you can go ahead and get your color. You need color pencils or crayons?
It's next to the Mississippi River.
Okay, very cool. What else? Anything else on there? Is that it? Very nice job. Round of applause. This is the Northeast by the ocean.
What about on the other side of Florida? East of Florida, what ocean's over there?
The Pacific.
No, Mickey. Atlantic.
Atlantic. So right over on this side, you guys, is the Atlantic Ocean. And right in here is the Gulf of Mexico. Okay, you guys all see that? Denai, you paying attention? Okay, so they get lots of clams and shrimp. Do we get that stuff up here?
No.
Does Lake Michigan have shrimp and clams?
No.
No, right? Those are saltwater animals, okay? Anything
Nice
else?
job.
What state is part of the West that has penguins? Do you guys remember what it said?
Penguins are in Alaska.
Alaska. So Alaska is part of the West. Even though it's way up here, it's part of the West. So they put penguins on their poster. Very good, you guys. Anything else? Austin. So what did we learn about the South?